for you and we'll get going. All right, guys. Hey, it is, I think it's April 16th. I don't have my watch on, so I can't be positive, but I think that sounds about right. It's April.
Yes, because it's the day after tax day.
Oh, see, but my taxes were done like months ago, so I didn't even track tax day. Awesome. So we are, we're super excited. Kristen is going to do our training tonight. It has a really cool topic actually that when she said it, I was like, yes, like I can just imagine exactly what you're going to talk on and share on. And I just can't wait to hear this from you. So, it's going to be amazing. I know we have already taken up a couple minutes, but do like one or two people have just some incredible things that happened this week that you want to share? Come on, incredible things happen every day, ladies.
Bueller.
Well, Sabria's doing it.
Hold on.
This is not Juice Plus related, but my baby went to prom on Saturday and she had an amazing time. Her first prom.
Oh nice. My goodness. And you guys, the pictures were amazing. Although Sabria, for being the bling queen, I was like, wait, where's all the bling? It was like only for little clutch, huh?
Yeah. And I made that purse, but she didn't, she's kind of simple. She's not as extra as me.
At least we know it. That's awesome. And then Ashlyn, did you say you had something else to share?
Yeah, but I feel like I've been talking a lot, so I wanted to let other people talk first if they wanted to.
Well, I'll go.
All right, go Tilly.
Well, I just landed in Honolulu.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
How cool is it?
I'm kind of lost because I'm waiting for my friend. But no, so I did a launch call for one of my reps, a new distributor, and she's gotten good reach outs from that. She's got a couple people that are interested, one in the product and one in the business. So we're excited.
That is so awesome. Awesome.
But yeah.
Very cool. All right, Ashlyn, let's hear your high for the week.
I have a lot, but I'll limit it to just a couple. One is that I'm really pumped about this program I'm launching for moms for self-care and self-love. I'm super excited. Also, I'm doing a program for girls for like confidence building, like ages 10 to 12, which is going to be so fun and so necessary. So like a supportive community of girls around the same age who can like have strong friendships and build relationships and have healthy body image and things like that. My other one is I reached out to somebody for the first time in a really long time because I've just been so like non-hands-on with the business, and she's open to do a call with Kristen. So I have a 3-way call setting up in the process. So that's super exciting too.
That is so exciting. That is so cool. I love seeing what you're doing with all of this other work too, because it plays in so much into our community and what we're creating here. So I think it's perfect. But yay for getting back into the business. Okay, now tell me, were you like a little nervous to like send out that message?
Well, so with this person, I think I did it because it wasn't as nerve-wracking. So it was like an easy, like I've built she's in my coaching group. So we have the same kind of like life coach, not the same kind of, we have the same life coach, and we're in a coaching group together. And she keeps talking about her eating and healthy eating, and we're buddies. So every time I talk to her, she's talking to me about how she's losing weight, but she loves to eat unhealthy food and she doesn't really like to eat vegetables. And every single time I'm like, I should just tell her about Juice Plus. But I don't. And so tonight I finally was like, I've been meaning to talk to you about this. I don't know if you're interested. And I did. And she's like, yes, I would love to. And she says that she has tons of friends who want to do it. I'm like, join the business.
Yes. And that's where Kristen is going to come in.
Right.
That's so awesome.
I was like, I asked her if she wanted to do it in person even, because I'm like, Kristen's so good in person. She would just do it right then.
So good.
Yeah.
Yes. And she will do it like while she's nursing Lucy and playing basketball with Max all at the same time.
And looking like a goddess.
Awesome. Well, that is incredible. And I love that as you were sharing, I looked at all the screens of everybody and everyone was smiling about that. So like everyone's got your back on this and it's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
So cool. Well, thank you guys for sharing. Okay. So now I'm going to turn it over to Kristen to let her just take over the call. And if you're not muted and you have some background noise, go ahead and mute yourself, and then unmute if you have a question for her. All right, all you.
Cool. Hi, you guys. Happy Tuesday. So it's so funny because I was really, really dragging today. As I mentioned earlier on the call, I was like averaging 4 or 5 hours of sleep in Florida. Lucy was having a tough time with the transition, like not a big deal, but it's exhausting. Traveling with kids is so tiring. And I like kind of forgot what day it was. And Kelsey sent me a message and she was like, hey, so like you've got a great topic for tonight, right? And I was like, I do. And I was like, oh my God, that's right, I do. And I like instantly got like really excited and like totally re-energized, which was really, really cool because I was like, oh my God, I'm going to bed at 8:30. And now I'm like, I'm like super, super excited. So if you are direct to me, you've probably heard me kind of bring this up a little bit, but the topic we're going to talk about tonight is growing your business in a reactive versus proactive way. And I think that this is something that will really resonate with people because I think it's something that we've all experienced going through periods of time in our business where we are running our business reactively versus proactively. And I'll give you kind of like the definition of it. So definition of growing your business reactively is you are waiting for people to come to you. You are putting up a post and hoping that somebody comments on it, or you are sending somebody a message and hoping they respond and not following up. So you're kind of sitting back and waiting for the business to come to you. When the reality is that you can do some of that. It does happen. Like, yes, we definitely can put up a Facebook post and stuff like that, and people will oftentimes message us. But we all, every single person, whether we're brand new in the business or whether we've been in the business for 8 years, we need to be proactively working our business. And that means that we have got to be, for lack of a better word, and I used to use the word aggressive, but I've kind of shifted my mind around that because I don't think that the word aggressive is really right here. I think it's proactive, but you're proactively going out and working your business. So you're doing it intentionally. You're targeting specific people, like who are your avatar. Like I'm, for example, I got a spray tan at my in-laws' house. This lady like came, whatever, and I was, in my head, I was like, oh, I'm like gonna like see if like I can share Juice Plus with her. Like I'm sure she's, whatever, she's cool. She came in, this girl was like talking about how much she loved nutrition and all this stuff and how she started IIN. And I was like, oh my gosh, I totally should share with her. And then she told me she was 20 years old. And I was like, I'm gonna like not, and I stopped myself and I was like, I do not want to work with a 20-year-old. I don't have anything in common with a 20-year-old. I don't. I was like, that would be a really, really, really hard relationship to build because we're so different. So that was, I forgot where I was going with that. That's what you just witnessed is 4 hours of sleep a night. But
Your avatar.
What's that?
Your avatar.
Oh, avatar. Thank you. Yeah. Proactively going after your avatar. So seeking people out to join your business, seeking people out that can benefit from the product or the business. So there's so many people out there, and a lot of times that's when we get stuck, right? Most of the time, if you are working your business reactively, you're in a stuck period, or you're just in a period of I don't like the word stuck. I'm going to find a different word for it soon, but you're just in that period of not moving your business forward. And we have to shift our mindset from reactive to proactive. But I think that that's really, really hard for people, right? Because we are, our mindset is not in that aggressive, going after people kind of mode. So how do we shift that, right? How do we get our brains to kind of transition to hoping people come to us versus going out and finding people? And the first thing I'm going to tell you to do is lean on your upline. I think that's going to be the most important thing because your upline is going to help coach you through that. But to find kind of what your avatar is and seek those people out and let your upline help you with verbiage for it. And go back to what we know, which is super old school, you guys. Write a list down of people that you want to reach out to. It's almost like kind of restarting your business a little bit, but taking it back to the basics, I think is really, really important. So often we get caught up in the things that we're doing and we're helping other people grow their business, or we're doing different things, but for lack of a better term, not for a better term, but we always want to keep it simple for people. So go back to writing a list, go through Facebook, think about people that you've met recently who fit that avatar. For me, my avatar right now that I'm really going after are moms, and specifically moms who are personal trainers or health coaches in some way. So if and when I meet one of them, I'm like, oh my God, I'm writing their name down and I'm going to reach out to them, because those are my avatars. So I'm going to proactively seek that person out and start building a relationship with them. I'm not going to sit back and hope that they see my Facebook post or, wait for them to approach me about the product, because they may never do it, right? And that's not going to move my business forward at all. Does this make sense to you guys a little bit? Yeah. Okay, cool. So how many of you right now feel like you are in a reactive state? I see Nikki nodding her head. Yeah. Yeah. Sabraya. Yeah. It is really, really easy to be reactive. And it's interesting. I was talking to my husband, Mike about it tonight. And what he said to me is, and this is how Mike talks. If you guys know my husband, Kelsey and Ashlyn do, this would make sense. He said that being reactive is being really lazy. And I was like, well, that's a negative connotation. It is a negative connotation, but it's not inaccurate, right? It's our brain being lazy. Our brain doesn't want to get uncomfortable and doesn't want to do proactive work. So our brain is being a little bit lazy and kind of sitting back and hoping that things come to us. But unfortunately, businesses are not built on hope. They are built on action. So being proactive is about taking some massive action and making an action plan for yourself. So the best action plan to do is tell your upline what your goal is and what you want to work towards. Okay, so now you and your upline are going to work together. You guys are in a relationship, you're married. So you're dating, whatever you want to call it. So now you two are going to work towards your goal together. What you're going to do is you are going to go back to old school and make a list of people that you want to reach out to, or some events that you want to do, but you're going to write it down, get it out of your head, put it on a piece of paper. That's step one in taking action, right? Writing it down, getting all those amazing thoughts in your head and writing them down. And step three is using your upline to make sure that those things happen. So I'm going to use Ashlyn as a great example. We had like an awesome call last week, and she had these like amazing ideas. I know Ashlyn really well, and I was out of town and like totally caught up in wedding stuff. And I was like, oh my God, I haven't checked in with her. And so I said to her yesterday or today, I was like, hey, have you sent those messages out? And she was like, you know what, I haven't. And I was like, that's totally okay. Like, can you carve out some time to do it? So, and she did it, right? And you guys heard about the result of it. It was amazing. So using your upline to take that action and putting it into place. And it's really that simple. There's no secret sauce to moving your business into a proactive state, except using your upline, turning your thoughts into action, and just doing it. It's really, really that simple. So how many of you feel like you're in a place where you have these great thoughts and ideas of things that you want to do and you need to put them into action? Okay, so your homework, everybody, tonight when we get off our call, write those down and send them to your upline. That is step one into moving into a proactive state of mind. And then now your upline, whether it's Stacy or Kelsey or myself or whoever it may be, now your upline is going to be helping you stay accountable for those things. And that's the big thing, right? When nobody's holding us accountable, we tend to get lazy, and that's what we let our brain get lazy and become more reactive. So you definitely still want to be doing things like posting on social media and, doing things that attract people, but you also have to be seeking people out. Fortunately and unfortunately, it's just kind of the way the world works. Like, you are going to get some business and some things from doing vendor tables and, Facebook posts and stuff like that. People are going to reach out to you, but it's also not going to go anywhere if you don't proactively follow up with them either. So there's always a need for proactivity in this business. And a lot of times we see that people may or may not succeed in this business, probably because of that, because they don't want to be proactive. They just want to they want people to know their secret, but they are not willing to tell their secret, basically. So it's like, nobody's going to get Juice Plus from you or want to join your business if they have no idea how passionate you are about it, or they have no idea what an amazing product it is and the lives that it can touch, or this business and the opportunity that it gives people to empower them and to give them opportunities, right? Health opportunities, finance opportunities, who knows what it is. So we have to tell the world, and that is us being super, super proactive. Okay. Who has questions? Yes, Nikki.
I don't know. I mean, I guess it's kind of on the same topic, but like, how generous should we be with giving out samples? Because I feel like my son has a preschool thing tomorrow and they're doing Easter stuff. And I'm like, oh, like there's only 10 kids in their class. Like I could do gummy samples.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's just like giving away stuff without getting information back.
Yeah. So that's a really, really, really good question. When it comes to samples, I personally am very stingy about them. That I only give them out to people who actually are really interested in it. However, 10 kids, if you give out like 10 little sample packs, it's not a huge like dent in your wallet.
Right.
You know, and it may spark up a conversation. But you could make that a little bit more proactive, and maybe you could staple something to it and make like a cute, like Easter, you said it was Easter party, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. You can make like some Easter rhyme up about like what it is. Like, I don't know, because my brain doesn't work that well right now. Like, I don't know, you know, like something like some cute Easter rhyme about the bunny bringing like, you know, like good nutrition to whatever. I don't know.
Rising again.
Yeah, or something like that.
Bring me to life.
Yeah.
Bunnies eat a lot of fruits and vegetables.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like something
It's
cute.
It's rabbit food.
Totally. And then what you could do is, you know, casually, you could be like, you know, when you see those parents, be like, hey, how did little Joey like the fruit and vegetable gummies?
Right.
And they might be like, oh my gosh, you know, they love them. You know, they were so good. You can be like, I know, right? And isn't it amazing that you get, you know, all that nutrition in them? Our family loves them. And then give her your top 3. Have kept our family so healthy. It makes me feel like I'm, you know, winning as a mom, and, you know, and I haven't been sick in 3 years, like whatever it is, like they're just amazing. And that's a great way to kind of like move that into like a more of a proactive conversation. But again, and the difference between those two things, reactive versus proactive. Reactive is if you sit back
following up,
wait for them to come up to you, versus you going to them and being like, hey, how did you like that?
Right. True. Cool. Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't have a question, but I loved how you were saying how you like really just said the difference between your brain being lazy and you being lazy, right? Like, because we are freaking busy moms. We are in our routine and we're taking care of human beings and we're keeping people alive. And so like, I bet 100% that none of you think that there is any point in the day where you're like, oh, I feel lazy, right? Like that's not, but our brains get lazy, right? Our brains are so powerful and they get into their routine. They get into their ruts of thinking patterns, right? And if we aren't intentionally kind of trying to like interrupt or disrupt that thinking pattern, it's going to just keep going in the same vicious cycle. But we want to expand it and we want it to grow. And that's going to take effort on our part. And you're going to have a lot of resistance in your brain if you let it take over and just keep doing the same cycle. Then you know it's this, you know, like you said, being lazy. And so it's not necessarily that, you know, you're lazy. It's that your brain will fall right back into those old habits. And that was so huge. That was like a huge aha moment for me, that I was like, that's what it is. Because I'm like, I feel like it is, and you guys, it is an ongoing thing, right? Like I have to be listening to something. I have to, again, be proactive, right? And continuing to listen to something in this business that builds the business, whether it's Audible, a book, and network marketing, just a rep wrap from earlier, you know, something. I have to listen to something every single day if I want to actually stay consistent in my business. And when I stop listening to those things, you guys, my brain goes right back to like, I'm going to just feed people and wipe sticky faces all day long. I mean, clearly there's a lot more to that thought process, but I loved that. I love that you actually pointed that out, because that's the difference right there.
Yeah. And Kelsey, you actually just said something that I think is really important, is that Kelsey, over the years has recognized what she needs to do to keep her brain from getting lazy. And you guys may not know that right now. It may take some trial and correction, not trial and error, trial and correction, for you to figure out like what it is that helps to keep your brain firing, right? Like you want it to be like, yeah, like I got this, instead of being like, no, I don't want to do that. Like I know, for example, like Kelsey's is listening to things on a daily basis. Mine is, I am very accountable to myself, and I hold myself to a very high standard personally. So if I say that I'm going to do something, I have to do it for myself, because letting myself down is like a really big deal for me. So, like for me, like if I like write it down and I set a goal for myself, or I set an intention or a task of like, hey, I'm going to do this. If I don't do it, then it's like, what else in my life am I going to quit on? That's my mentality, that like, if I say and that's a big thing for me. Like if you say you're going to do something, you do it. And that's how I am. So I always am like, if I say it, it's going to happen. And so that's for me is like what keeps my brain from getting lazy, is like, I have to stay accountable to myself. But it's important to recognize like what it is for you individually that is going to help keep you, we say like close to the fire, or stay in the room, like whatever it may be, that whether it's talking to your upline every day, whether it's listening to Audible, whether it's writing down something, setting an intention every morning, whatever you need to do to kind of keep that brain like on task daily.
So what I was going to say is, well, I was sitting here thinking while you were talking, and I'm like, I don't know if my brain is lazy, but it sure is busy. So, and I kind of answered my own question that I was thinking. I'm sitting here multitasking as we have this conference call right now. And so for me, I'm completely old-fashioned pen and paper. I'm a list type of girl. So I write down, I have a long list every day of what I need to do, who I need to call, where I need to go, whatever it is, it's always on my list. But hearing you guys talk is making me think, okay, so just like you said, we need to follow up with those potential customers or, potential business owners. I need to follow up with myself, so maybe I need to designate a time to go back to my list every night and say, hey, okay, did you do this, and check it off and kind of go through. And then not so much so where I'm just creating a whole nother list for tomorrow, but, really like, okay. And like you, I'm the same way as you are, Kristen. When I say I'm going to do something, like I used to procrastinate really bad. I'm like, gotta have to get out of this habit. So no, let me do it right now, because I'll forget, or it won't get done, or I'll get sidetracked. So again, like just following up with myself. Okay, Sabrina, did you do this? Did you do that? Did you call such and such? There's a young lady on my list right now that I need to follow up with. So just holding myself accountable, like you said.
Cool.
What I heard, and you can remind me of this, Kristen, but exactly what she was saying. Danny Martinelli does this exercise, and she does it every week, and she looks at exactly what her goal is and what the steps are going to take to get her to that goal, right? So she makes sure that her time is very intentional. But what is the exercise she does? She writes down 3 things she's going to start, things she's going to stop, and things that, what was the third? There's a third thing.
Oh, I can't remember.
It's like
things she's going to continue doing, right?
I think that's what it is.
Yeah, I think yeah. So you start and you stop and you continue. Yeah. So she looks at the overall course correction, like Kristen was saying. You course correct, but that has to be something that you pay attention to. You don't want to pay attention to that 150 miles down the road. You want to pay attention to that every 10 miles or so, right? And oh, look at that beautiful girl. So things you're going to start, things you're going to stop, and things you're going to continue doing. And just take a look at that list, that long to-do list that you have every day, and make sure that all of those things on it are aligned with either A, keeping people alive, or B, what your goal is business-wise or other.
Love. Yes. I like your list, Sabrina. That's perfect. And if it helps too, like you can let Kelsey know, Spry, like what are your top 3 things that you want to accomplish that day? You know, and if you get to the end of the day, like Kelsey can be like, hey, how did it go? Like, did you get that message out to so-and-so? You know what I mean? Or if you're somebody that knows that if you tell Kelsey that you're going to do something, you're going to do it because now Kelsey knows you're going to do it. Like, just tell her like what you're going to do that day, you know, and just kind of update her. Like I did that a lot the first couple of years of my business because it just helped me. Like I would call Amy or Vox Amy and tell her exactly what my plan was that day. And then I would tell her how it went. And it wasn't, I mean, she liked to hear it, but it wasn't for her, it was for me. So that I knew that I was holding myself accountable because now I have to tell her how it went. So that may be a good task to like maybe the top 3 things that you want to accomplish that day. You just communicate them so that they're out there in the universe and they have to get done. Cool. So we are about 2 minutes over, but I want to see if anybody else has any other questions or comments or anything about this topic. No.
Well, you kind of answered the question that I had for Sabrina because she said she used to be a procrastinator. And I am the queen of procrastination. So when you said that, like, it makes sense. So I'm going to have to start doing that with you.
Yes.
I don't know about top 3 things, but I can at least start with 1 and then try and work my way there. Because I'll write lists, but I just won't get it done. Something else will take over. I'll say I'm going to do this, and then I wind up in the kitchen cleaning, cooking, washing produce, just making veggie chips, just random stuff. So, yeah, I've definitely got to work on that.
Cool. All right, you guys. Well, I'm going to go ahead and stop recording.